welcome to Tim Voxelbaum Show. My name's Tim Voxelbaum. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, poet, slam poet, wrestler, dodgeball player, coach of dodgeball as well. And I'm also a coach of artistry, of acting too. I'm an actress. I'm an actress. I don't like actors who call themselves actors. If you're an actor who happens to have a twat, you're a freaking actress. You're not an actor. They go, I respect actors such as Clarence Thomas, such as a woman's name, such as Anna Nicole Smith. I respect actors like her. Well, she's not. She's an actress. Men are actors. Actresses are women. Women are actresses. Like Judy Garland was not an actor. She was an actress. Just like when waiters are men and waitresses are women too, because they have twats. I did not plan on starting on such a politically incorrect tone and note, but sometimes that's what happens when you're an old man in his 40s who happens to be a baby boomer, sympathizer. I'm not a baby boomer by technicality. I'm a baby boomer by spirit. Whenever I see a baby boomer getting dragged out of a Yankee stadium for saying the N-word too often, which is more than any at all, which is like a lot, which is like, whenever I see that, it's not about him saying the N-word, it's him being himself and expressing his freedom of heart, his soul is, I like baby boomers because they are stuck in their own ways from the 70s and the 80s, mostly the 70s, I believe, is when they're most locked in the 80s. I don't freaking know. It depends on the person. I respect baby boomers because I like not changing. I like money and security and not the environment. Don't like the environment. I think I've talked about it before on this thing. I don't like the environment. I like it, but I don't care about it. I like that it's nice and pretty, but if you look under the weeds with a microscope, you'll see these nasty bacterias and tarantulas and bad things like centipede. Like, you'll see things that are horrifying on the environment. That's where they are. They're on the environment, the planet. The environment is just the top of the planet where there's air. It's nothing. When you break it down like that and tell it like it is, that's all the environment is. It's just the top of a planet. It's the shell of a planet where the air is, where you can walk around and it's not melty with lava everywhere. There's no molten rock. It's solid frozen rock. That's the technical term for a rock that's not molten. Well, it's frozen. You could have many forms of rock. So anyway, that's it. But I don't care about the environment because I'm a baby boomer sympathizer. When they're dead, I'm going to be wearing all their t-shirts because they'll be dead and they'll be donated to Goodwill or on eBay or at a garage sale. Estates, that's it. Estate sales is where you get cool clothing for baby boomers. I'm going to be wearing their clothing, and then the millennials or Zoomers or whatever the hell you call them, Generation Alpha, that survived that succeeded their stupid baby boomer parents. I hate them because they don't respect their elders, their parents, the baby boomers, and their grandparents. Some baby boomers are great grandparents if they're really doing well. So the environment is what we're going to talk about for another about 2 minutes to 4 minutes. The environment, the reason I don't care about it is not because I'm like some polluter who just wants to kill all the animals and plants and spread oil into the soil and kill the oceans and make them brown. I don't want to do that, but also I don't really want to not do that because there's other oceans on the planet. There's really many oceans, and also forget that. I misspoke. I don't care about the planet. I meant the universe. When I said planet, I was like, what's the biggest thing in the world? Well, the planet. There's things way bigger than that in the world. It's called the universe. If you heard of this thing, you don't hear about it too often because it's not here. To get there, you have to leave the planet. Then you're in the universe. Then you're in the solar system. Something bigger than you can't just go like, well, where am I? You're not on the planet. So you have to call it something else. You're in the universe still. Okay, the reason I'm talking about the environment is because I don't care, because we're going to kill this earth. No matter what, something's going to happen. We're going to keep pumping oil out of the ground and pumping heat out of the solar. We're going to keep pumping energy from the sun into our solar panels, and that's bad for the environment too. Because it produces heat. Because it collects the heat that is supposed to go to plants, seals, porpoises, and other fauna and fudge, whatever you call it, flora. That's where the sun is supposed to go. So if we hog all the light for our Teslas, something's going to happen. Anyway, something's going to kill the earth. And long story short, it's inevitable unless you take a gun to everybody's head except for two people. If you kill everybody except for 1 or 2, 1,200 people, 1,000, up to, a million, whatever. If you kill everybody but 1 million people, if you kill 99.9% of the population, then it'll last. Then the environment will turn amazing. The environment will be beautiful. There'll be no pollution. I mean, there will still be tons of pollution, like microplastic. There's nothing we can do about that. The microplastics are already everywhere. There's already nuclear fallout everywhere too. So the environment's done. It's over. If you're an environmentalist, that's the hardest job on the planet. Not in the universe, just on this planet. On other planets, it's way easier because we haven't screwed it up yet. To be an environmentalist is easy if you're talking about Mars. I'm a liberal. When someone asks me, hey, are you a vegan environmentalist? I go, yeah, on Mars, where there's nothing else to do but preserve it and eat. There's no animals on Mars. Yeah, I'm a vegan on Mars, you freaking dope head. You pothead, hemp, necklace, Birkenstock wearer, and whatever, patchouli wearing, neckbeard who smells funny. It doesn't, but is a capitalist because they're ironic, because nobody who's an actual environmentalist. They just call themselves that because they're mentally ill and they don't love themselves. So they have to hate other people to feel like they are better than them, so they do feel self-love. That's how they get their own self-love, by hating other people on Twitter. They go on Twitter. It's still around. I don't call it X. I'm talking about the one that Jack Dorsey made. I'm talking about his version of Twitter, which is technically, okay, it doesn't exist. Those assholes are not real, legit environmentalists. If they were, they'd be scrubbing the microplastics and nuclear fallout out of every leaf. And that's impossible. It's impossible to unpollute the planet. And they're using their iPhones and they got their Birkenstocks and their hemp necklaces that they bought at Hot Topic or some other corporate shithole. All these punks. Even in the 80s. There was such a thing as hypocritical punks. Remember punks from the 80s? No, because they're all dead. Because everybody remembers that is a baby boomer in their 50s. Nobody remembers punks from because they're all dead or they're in their 50s and they're old as hell, man. But anyway, those guys were hypocrites too. Punks were hypocrites because remember when Michael Jackson put out the music video for Bad? I'm bad. That song. He was dancing. He wore this cool black punk leather suit, and he had like a belt that had a bunch of studs on it. Yeah, he got that at a punk store in New York that was known as like the most hip place to buy with money clothing made by it was capitalism. So they got mad at the owner of the store. They boycotted the owner. They called him a sellout for selling a piece of clothing to Michael Jackson, who went there incognito. And they're like, oh, now he's a sellout because he because he sold something to a popular guy. So now not before when he was making a shitload on the fad itself. Only when it goes to somebody popular who puts it in a music video. Then he's a sellout, but not when he's making a living off it from just his internal, just from other people who are just also jumping on the bandwagon. He was a sellout the second he started selling that shit, not when Michael Jackson bought a belt. So that pisses me off. It's like, oh, you're giving him shit when meanwhile you're the hypocrite. If you want to be a punk, you can't just do what other people are doing. That's not punk. To just go to a store and then you leave a punk because you bought the right fucking shit. That's not what a punk does. A punk just happens to look that way because they're individuals and they just happen to roll out of bed and they just have this eclectic. If you have to dress a certain way to fit into a niche circle, that's not punk. That's just being a shill for some other thing. That's just trying to be cool. Cool is uncool. And uncool is cool. You get it? All right, so that's the environment. We're done talking about that. So cool is like trying to be cool, like cool, man. It's hip. That's uncool. Like hipness is uncool. Being self-aware how uncool you are, that is cool because it's authentic. People like authentic. Sorry, people like authentic because I don't know. People just like people that are uncool. Nerds are cool, like being but that's a whole nother thing that people also try to do to get laid. Now people are trying to get laid by going to the nerd store, by going to Fry's, or Micro Center. People go to Micro Center and they go to the modem section, they go to the fiber section, they see all this Cat 2 or whatever, whatever the hell you call the cable for the modems, and they just stand there looking at it, waiting for some chicks to go by, and then they see if the chicks are into that. And they talk about Bitcoin. Anyway, the environment is over with. So if you're an environmentalist, that's fine, as long as it's on a different planet. As long as you're talking about Mars. Yeah, I'm an environmentalist on Mars. I'm a vegan on Mars. Why? Because there's all there is to eat. All there is to eat there is vegan crap, because we haven't discovered a way to make cows breathe less oxygen. And we're not going to share our oxygen with them. So we got to start small. We're going to start very small when it comes to meat on Mars. We're going to start eating, squirrels or something. Bugs. That's not vegan. That's disgusting. So I am going to be vegan and an environmentalist on Mars, which is very easy to do because the environment there is already pristine. The environment there can't be any better because we haven't fucked it up yet. We just put a bunch of tracks in there for a bunch of wheels for the probes. What do you call those probe things that, those rollerblade things with the wheels on them? Probes. I don't know what they're called. But the environment on Mars should be preserved because we're the Native Americans. Whoever gets there first is the Native Americans, and whoever gets there second is the colonizing evils that we're going to call them racist the second they get there, because colonization is fucked up. Colonizing anything is fucked up for the second time you do it. The first time you do it is natural. That's just you're a Navi, you're a Native American, you're a beautiful, natural spirit animal. But the second anyone else gets there and tries to colonize it, they're freaking evil, racist, scum, white supremacists. So we got to get there first. And by we, I just mean whoever can afford to get there. Rich people. People with grit who have the resources to just make it there like pioneers did in the old Western days. So anyway, there's going to be new diseases on Mars. There's going to be something even worse than the ones we got here. There's going to be syphilis, but the Mars version of that. There's going to be dysentery. There's going to be a lot of bad stuff going on, so we deserve to celebrate the culture as whatever it is with Elon being at the helm. Elon's like he's already turning evil. He's already going through his, like if this was a movie, it would be in the second act right now. This would be like the second act. Elon would be, his character development would be the part where he's turning evil. Isn't that freaking good of a point? That like, it's not good, but isn't it cool? That like we're witnessing in real time, but a lot slower than a movie would be. Because movies are slower when you're actually experiencing them in real life. Movies are usually like edited down, so you see the character arc in like an hour. This is taking like years. So Elon is putting out all this junk, like the Cybertruck, which is like under-delivered. It has all these huge pieces of stainless steel, which just makes it heavy. It's like, he's not an environmentalist. He's like, oh, I'm an environmentalist. Yeah, but it burns oil to get the electricity, and it's such a heavy car that it's moving the car. That's why you need all those batteries. If it was just a bike, it's moving all the heavy metal that you put. It's not moving people. It's stupid. So anyway, if you made a bike or something, or a Segway that was like 2 pounds, then it would be an environmentalist thing, maybe. And yeah, so Elon Musk is going through his turning evil phase of the movie because he's like, fuck you. If you don't, whatever he said on that CNBC, he's like, oh, you don't want to advertise? Suck my cock. Fuck you, Disney boy. Where you at, Michael Eisner? Fuck you. So he's getting pissed off, and he's turning evil, and he's turning anti-Semitic, thankfully. Because I like seeing people turn evil, and Kanye, I'm assuming he'll be involved at some point. They will link up and Starlink to, they'll go on Star, whatever they call the stupid thing, Starship Enterprise. And it'll be them as the leaders of Mars. So, he's turning into an evil villain. And that interview that came out like 2 weeks ago with that CNBC bloke, the guy looks like a Lego character. He's got like hair that looks like it snaps on and snaps. It's like such a boring haircut. And he's such a robotic, boring bore fuck that he's just like, hey, Elon, so I heard you posted some anti-Semitic bullshit on Twitter. And then Elon was like, yeah, you don't want to advertise? Fuck, suck my cock. And that just blew everything out of the water that this interviewer was supposed to. Then the interviewer tried to actually like go after, like say something, like try to get things back. The interviewer was trying to like pull him back to reality and thought he was going to actually like land the interview. He was like, so, but don't you think there's a reality to this? Don't you think? And I was like, nobody's listening to you, you boring Lego fuck. Nobody cares what you have to say after he just did that. After Elon just did that, you think we're going to watch what you have to say? He just looked like he was bombing after that. Yeah, but Elon, don't you think that, like, dude, you suck. I don't know, just by comparison, Elon was more interesting. So he stole the spotlight, and then that interviewer was like, okay, well, I'm an interview. No, you're done. You're no longer an interviewer at this point. Just take a bow and leave the stage. Why don't people ever do that? You never see interviewers walk out on interviews. You only see the people being interviewed walk out. I've never seen an interviewer be like, well, okay, I'm done, and then take off the mic, You know how people take off their mics when they're walking out of an interview and they can never figure out how to get it off? You never see the interviewer leave their own interview because they're pussies. You never see that. It's always the guy being interviewed like, you know what? I'm done. You don't need to interview Elon. He's a fucking genius. Not very many people are good enough to interview Elon. Okay, that's enough about that. Let's start the show for real, though. That's not what I wanted to talk about, man. You know, I'm getting warmed. I'm very antsy. I'm very antsy from being on a shitload of coffee, which I don't normally drink. I switched to tea because it's less offensive on my adrenals glands. On my adenosine-producing adrenal glands. But I switched to coffee, and the second you get that first pop from coffee, it's like, well, now I gotta drink a whole gallon of it. Because I guess now I want to get that freaking boost. So that's yeah. So I'm very antsy, and I'm not on a lot of drugs right now. I'm very sober. So let's do a quick sober update. Flash the promo or whatever. Play the thing, the clip. Play the theme music for Sobriety. Okay, so sober update. I'm still 100% sober, living like a freaking angel. Like an angel. I'm a good person. I haven't killed anybody since I became sober. Unlike Kendall. Unlike Kendall, whatever his freaking last name is. I forgot what their last names was in that stupid show. But he killed somebody. So I'm better than him. I'm not a billionaire, but I'm a better person than him. I'm better at rapping. I'm better at him than everything you could possibly. He's not a serious person. Kendall Roy. Okay, now that I got my thoughts together, sobriety. So I'm still dead sober from alcohol. 2 years sober from alcohol. Can you believe it? Can't believe it. And I'm also sober from cannabis, but I don't really, that is the hard part because I can't sleep. I could sleep, but I wake up feeling with a headache and I just feel like junk. I wake up feeling like junk because I dream all night and I have vivid dreams that are very story. They're very epic. And I hate it. And marijuana suppresses the REM sleep. So now I'm rebounding for the past year. And it hasn't gotten a single bit better. A single iota. But the sleep apnea mask helps. And I use a mouth thing. I bought a mouthpiece. That you put in boiling water. And then you chew in, you bite into it. And then it leaves an impression. And then it dries and stiffens up. And then you sleep with that, so it's forcing your jaw to stay like this throughout the night. So I'm sleeping like this, and with air going into my nose. So I do that sometimes. And when I do that, I usually wake up with less of a headache. But I'm still doing horribly ever since I quit the cannabis with a lot, just brain fog and shit like that. Because I was using weed. Oh, well, there goes this new shirt. I just got this shirt, and I already spilled coffee all over it. All right, sorry to put a deadbolt into this podcast, but I'm not the type of person who could just roll with it when something bad happens in my life during this filming of this product that goes out to 6,000 people a day. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, a perfectly good shirt just got freaking permanently ruined. Anyway, and it's all over the mic stand too. What? I'm pissed. Okay, so I was talking about sobriety from cannabis. Oh yeah, so I was using cannabis for dopamine, not just to get high, because it gives you a nice baseline. It raises your baseline dopamine levels when you take a puff. So I was doing that for me, and that allowed me to actually work on stuff. Isn't that weird? Most people associate weed with being laid back and just a relaxed. No, it allows me to kind of be mellow and sedate, and the word I'm looking for is content. Weed kind of made me content because of the dopamine, and it maybe is something else, but I just know that there's definitely a relationship between dopamine and lack of dopamine and cannabis. That's what I was using it for. And, so I would smoke weed and program stuff and like make stuff on, and sometimes I would actually do stuff that other people were involved with. Very rarely, because I'm an isolated person. I don't usually like do things that involve other people. I usually just do things that only involve me, myself. So anyway, I would do that. So I was using weed for that. So now that I don't have that, I have to rely on my own will to get myself to do anything, and that's impossible. It's impossible because I can't take the initiative to even to do anything that's not pleasurable or gives me dopamine. I'm an addict. It's how it feels, at least, even though I'm technically, I don't think I am. I'm just a dopamine person and lacking dope. I'm a ADHD. But it's so I just take I just need Adderall, and that helps for about 15 minutes. I take the Adderall, and then I feel I know it's working when I catch myself having thoughts like, I should move some money to my bank account. I should sell some crypto. I should look at the crypto prices. Oh, I should play this game that you level up in. All that is just you have dopamine, and now you want more. Now you want to do stuff with it. I don't know. That still makes me feel like an addict, even though I guess it's normal. Some of it's normal when you get the feeling of like, oh, I should take care of my finances. And you actually get pleasure just thinking about like transferring money from your bank account to a new bank account, to a brokerage account. I should save some. I should look into my financial portfolio. If you're just dead sober, you don't care about that. You just want to like jerk off, get your dick sucked by a whore, buy a car, drive it into a river, get out. Hopefully nobody died, and then do it again. And then go to Wendy's. You just want to do stuff that gives you pleasure, instant gratification. But when you're on stimulants, when you got enough dopamine in your system, then you could focus on long-term shit like, maybe I should look at some index funds to put some. Maybe I should look at my Fidelity account. So anyway, that lasts about 50 minutes because I don't have my source of my meds. It's hard to get meds, Adderall, because a lot of people need it. A lot of people need it these days because we live in a world where everything is at your fingertips. Porn is at your fingertips. And because of that, we all need Adderall to now look at porn, to look at our portfolio. So anyway, instead of porn, how about portfolios? Let's talk about that. So we're going to start the episode by, now that we covered the sober topic, money. Money is what makes the world go round. Money is energy. It's like fuel. It's a fuel source for doing shit. And for getting other people to do shit. You don't need money to do anything yourself. Like if you want to be in a band, if you want to work out, you want to like start writing some songs or practicing piano, you don't need money for that. But that's boring though. I mean, who wants to do that? Money is for getting other people to do stuff for you, like getting food delivered to your house, buying an expensive plane ticket and traveling to a different country, getting somebody to just like being to suck your dick. Not to be too X-rated, but Elon is the one in charge of the world now, and he likes to curse. So, I mean, I think it's okay now. I think the world is now rated X. Now that Elon is president of the world, he's the most powerful, influential person in the world. So, I mean, if he says F you on TV, that means I can do anything I want. So the portfolio, finances, that's another addiction. I'm a gambling addict. Whoa. Shh. Why do I keep spilling this? There's not even that much in here. All right. Well, I'm going to try to not do that anymore. This is a very expensive carpet. No. Okay, so money. I can't talk about money, man, because it's too sensitive of a subject these days, man. Everybody's crying about how everything's too expensive, man. Ooh, I miss Trump when everything was cheap. We got stimulus checks, and we could just live off the government dime. I miss when gas was $1.50, and you didn't have to deal with people on the road blibberty bopping and blocking your way into HEB. And there was less road rage, and there was less people on the road, and you could just stay home and jerk off and do Zoom and take your pants down even when you're not on the Zoom. When you're doing the Zoom, you didn't need to even be wearing no pants and shit like that. And now there's the great pandemic of our lifetime, and it's never happened again. And a lot of people die, and that's always a good thing when a lot of people die, because I'm an environmentalist, and a lot of people don't need to be here if you wanted to care about the planet. You know, so now that we don't got that going on, like now that everything's back to normal, we're kind of bouncing back. Anyway, the economy's doing good, though, in other ways, in ways that, I don't know. I just know that there's good things going on. Like the stock, I'll just talk about what I know about. I know about stocks. I've been in the stock market for 3 years about, which is, enough to think I know about it. I've been through at least one market cycle. I got in, 2020-ish, and then it went up a lot, went down, it crashed in 2020, and then it worked its way back up. It hit an all-time high. And then it went down for about a year or two, which felt like an eternity. And now it's finally back up. The stock market just randomly decided to just go back up in the past 3 months, 2 months. It looked really bleak like 2 weeks ago. Like in October, people were like, yeah, this is shit. It's going to be a hard landing. We're going to be smashing into the runway here in any second. Now bonds are going up. Everybody just has their money on the sidelines because we're expecting a recession. That was just 2 months ago. Now we're at a freaking all-time high. S&P, it's at an all-time high, like pretty much, like 4,700. The S&P 500. Look it up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up a freaking chart of the S&P 500. Look where it's at right now. It's at 4,700. Look where it's been. Previous, never been that high. Maybe once 2 years ago when Trump was kicked out of office. So anyway, now we're at all of a sudden the stock market just decided out of nowhere, hey, screw it, let's just pump everything up. Let's pump up all these tech stocks. And the Fed chair guy, the Fed guy, Powell, he spoke on last Wednesday. And the stupid stock market just shot up like a rocket because this guy was like jerking everybody off in the audience. He was like, I got nothing bad to say this time. We're thinking about it. Thinking about cutting rates sometimes here. So, boom, that's all he had to say. He didn't say shit. He didn't say nothing hawkish is the point. He was buttering everybody's biscuit. He was being dovish like Easter. So the stock market shot up like 50 points as he was speaking. And of course, I lost a lot of money because I was hoping that wouldn't happen. I was just like, it's already high. I mean, it's not going to go up. But of course it went up. I lost a lot of money because I was playing the bears. I was playing bullish. I was playing bearish. I had bearish credit spreads. So anyway, that's what I know about. I know that we're in a high point, so it's probably gonna correct at some point next year. It always goes up during the holidays. That's like just look at the charts. Look at the chart, and every December it kind of goes up and then it goes down. So you gotta learn to ride the waves. Don't have all your money invested at any given time. This is financial. I hate when people just have everything. They just lean one way. They don't know how to take advantage of the cycles. The cycles are how you get loaded. You make money by sitting around and waiting You don't make money by actively selling and buying every single day. Like, I got to sell this because it went up by 2%. Oh, this one shot down. I better sell before it goes down even more. No, you idiot. You make money just sitting on your dick. That's a quote from Charlie Munger. Rest in peace. He just died at 99 years old. And he was a genius investor. And that's what he said. He said, you make money by sitting on your dumb dick. And I know what I'm talking. I know what he's talking about. Because so now they're at a high point. Okay, so don't invest now, you idiot. And this is financial advice. The reason I'm not doing a disclaimer is because if you're dumb enough to actually listen to my financial advice, you deserve to lose your money. So that's the disclaimer. Despite this being like me giving you financial, it doesn't mean you should listen to it. You're an idiot if you listen to it. So there you go. You can't sue me now because I just said you're an idiot if you listen. So there you go. Now everything I say going forward is completely I could get away from saying whatever the hell I want because I just disclaimed it. But my advice, financially speaking, is why the hell would you just have everything invested or not? Either one or the other. Like, okay, I'm all in the stock market right now because it's high. Well, you're an idiot because it's going to correct. It always corrects. It always goes down. Once it's super high, the pressure is now to go down. It's a pendulum. It's a pendulum. So now it's going to go down. You shouldn't be buying. Like, why would you buy Nvidia or these tech stocks that are at an all-time? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna buy Apple at $200 a pop. Okay, buy some if you feel like it's gonna keep going up, because it will at some point keep going up. Maybe it'll just keep going up all this next. Maybe we'll have a 1 year long bull. Okay, that could happen. But don't put all your eggs into the market. Keep some on the sidelines. You should never be full bullish and full bear because you never know. You should react. I'm not talking about time in the market. I'm talking about, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I guess I am talking about time in the market. I'm just saying don't be trading based on emotions. Go be a contradictory trader or investor, whatever the frick. I'm a trader, not just an investor. We're talking about that too. Now that but just on the large low res. Yeah. I'm just talking like low res right now, like bird's eye view investing. Don't put all your money into stocks when it's at an all-time. It's like Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin at 70,000, you deserve to have lost money. You're still waiting for it to recoup. Because you're an idiot. You should have bought it at $200. You had all this time. What are you doing? Everything that goes up corrects a little bit. So wait for it to swoop down at least a little bit. At least wait to invest on a down day. And this is market timing. But within reason. Because I'm saying at least. If you're going to put a substantial amount of money into the market, at least do it on a down day. Which that'll happen. I could guarantee you there will at least be one down day. You don't have to wait for a freaking crash or a whole market cycle. Just wait for a down day. So to wrap it up, now that we're in a bull market, don't invest all your money. Have some of it on the sidelines in that money market account so that when it does correct, then you could confidently put some in and know that, okay, I'm getting at least I'm timing the market. See, I'm for time. I'm somebody that goes against the grain. People that say time in the market always beats timing the market. And I go, take that poem and shove it up your ass. Because it doesn't even rhyme. I time the market because I'm smarter than the market. I'm smarter than the average person. I don't give a crap if I ride the wave. It's not being a douche. It's people that surf are not douchebags. They just talk like douchebags. They say, brah. They say, hey, brah, man, look at that wave. Look at that wave. I'm going to try to ride that. See, that's what all I'm doing is I'm trying to ride the waves. Right now, we're at a crest of a super high wave. I'm not putting money into the market. I'm taking money out of the market so that I have cash to put back in because I'm timing the market. Because I don't listen to poetry from Jack Bogle. Look what happened to him. He died at 88 years old. So he couldn't even make it to 90. So what did he know? Charlie Munger he's the guy who said, I forget, what did he say? Oh yeah, sit on your ass, you idiot. Sit on your balls. That's how you get rich. Because you got to wait for the opportunities to come to you. You don't chase after them. That is timing the market. No, it's timing when you enter the market. You can't. Yeah, the market's gonna do whatever it wants. It's like the ocean. You can't control the ocean. You can control when you jump in. You could wait for the weather to subside. That's a better poem than your poem, Boglehead. Boglehead subreddit. Timing the market always beats timing the market. No, it doesn't. Depends on your time horizon. Depends on what you're talking about. If you talk about VTI, talking about the total stock market index fund, or VOO, if you're talking about the S&P, there's no way I would just put a lump sum right now, today. No, I want to wait for it to subside a little bit, because right now we're in a storm. I mean, it's not that hard. Or QQQ. Like, I would never buy QQQ, the Qs. I would never buy that fund, that ETF, like right now, the NASDAQ 100, not when it's in this, right, like all-time high. It's going to bounce. It's going to correct. Okay, I'm pissed off. That's enough about that. So now we're talking about investing in a nutshell. I mean, this is all based on crypto. This is where I learned about this. It works with any market. I made a lot of money in the stock market just by investing a year ago when everything was cheap. Nvidia was like a lot cheaper just a year ago. Facebook, Meta, those three companies I just named right there. Boom. Every tech stock was super cheap. You could have tripled your money without even breaking a sweat and then sit on your balls. And now you could sell and you'd have a whole year of gains that are now long-term capital gains. So you don't have to pay however much, less than you would normally have to pay if it's a short-term gain tax-wise. So don't be an idiot. Okay, so then crypto's up too, because we're waiting on this spot ETF, which is exciting, because it'll hopefully bolster the price of, bolster. You don't really got to use the word bolster when all you're saying is that it just moves up the price of crypto. That's all I'm hoping it does. I just want it to move up the price of Bitcoin, then it'll move up the price of many, many shit coins that I could now finally sell to exit liquidity people that are idiots that buy, that do the opposite of what I'm saying. They buy when everyone else is selling, when the smart people are selling. They're not contradictory. Like everybody's talking about crypto right now. Oh, what a shock. They're talking about it now that it's going up in value, but they don't care about it when it's worthless. What a shock. Oh, all of a sudden Shiba Inu is interesting. Oh, I want to buy some Shiba Inu. Well, you had all year. You had 2 years of a bear market to load your freaking, line the sides of your pockets. You could have been lining your pockets with all these cheap coins. But not everyone had a lot of capital because, they spent it all during the bull run of 2021. Okay. That's investing. It's not that. Just go with the market cycle. Now that we're in a bull market, it's time to sell, not buy. Is that so hard for you to wrap your freaking head around? Now they're in a bull market, whether it's stocks or crypto or corn, now it's time to sell so that you have liquidity and capital, dry powder, so that when it corrects, then you could load up on even more. And when it goes up again, you could sell even more. And then it's like a snow. Then you're just getting richer and richer. So I've been selling the small amount of crypto I have, which is, I'm just saying it's a small amount because I don't want to get robbed. But I've been selling it, and now I have some dry powder to live off, and now I could, when it goes back down, I could buy more. Because crypto is it doesn't have any utility. That's why people only care about it during bull runs, because it's not like it does anything. Nobody relies on it for survival or anything. Crypto doesn't solve any problems. It's all about hype and memes. But that's why you only invest a small percentage of your net worth into it, and there you go. Boom. Maybe so, Bitcoin. Yeah, I think Bitcoin is worthwhile. Like, it's worth having some long term, but that's until people realize that it's useless. Or at least when it gets replaced by something better, because right now it's not that good. It's not that good. It costs a ton of money to transact, and it's not fast compared to Bitcoin Cash, for example. And there's many other way better crypto blockchains. I mean, Ethereum is expensive, but there's layer 2s. I guess Bitcoin has Lightning Network, but Bitcoin is just the original one. That's the only reason it's worth more than Ethereum. It's because of the first one. It's not because it's better. So people that are like super bullish about Bitcoin, it's like, well, it'll probably be replaced by something better. But yeah, it is precious. It is precious right now, but not to have your whole net worth. Like, if you had theoretically 50,000 Bitcoin, would you just have it, all your money in That'd be stupid. Unless you're a criminal and that's your only choice. Yeah, Bitcoin's great for that. It's great for criminals at large. But if you're a normie with all your money in Bitcoin and you just sell off a tiny bit at a time to pay your bills, you're an idiot. Put it in something else. Because Bitcoin is not the same as the internet. It is going somewhere. It's not solving that many problems except for crime. It solves crime. The part where, it solves a problem in crime. The part where it makes crime more easy. So it doesn't solve crime. I mean, it solves a problem in crime. It prevents barriers in crime. It accelerates. It advances crime. It's a solution for criminals. Like, if in the sense that, like, how businesses have solutions, like you sell. Okay, it's an enterprise. It's a tool for criminals. So is that where you want your money? Okay, so that's that. Now let's talk about trading. So I've been a trader for about a month and a half. It's really just a little over a month. I've been a day trader in stocks, specifically not stocks, but the stock market, derivatives of stocks. I've been I've been trading the S&P 500 SPX ticker index. It's not a fund, it's a derivative. It's an index that is controlled by the Chicago Options Exchange, the Chicago Board Options Exchange, CBOE. They're the ones who create it and control it. And it's a liquid instrument that you day trade or hold, or long-term buy and sell trade. You trade. You can only trade it. It's not something you invest in. You don't buy and hold SPX. Look it up. SPX is just the S&P 500. It's just the index. There's no fund behind it. You can't buy shares of it. You can only do contracts. It's a derivative. It's only for buying and selling options. And if you don't know what that means, you're not a drug addict. Or at least you're not one that has snorted this particular drug. The first one's free. So I got into it a couple months, like a month ago. I discovered such a thing as credit spreads because you don't need as much capital. Because if you do one contract, if you buy one contract of SPX, it costs $470,000. At least that's the underlying. The underlying is worth that. So you need that much in buying power to buy or at least to sell one. To buy it, you just need whatever the option's worth, which is depends on the particular option. Jesus, this is so freaking if you're not into, if you don't know what I'm talking about, why would you listen to this? So I've been extremely addicted to it. I kind of talked about it on the last episode. Been day trading the SPX and sometimes the NASDAQ 100 too, which is just NDX. It's less liquid. It's more volatile. You also make more money. So the VIX is not. So volatility is how I've been making money, not by betting on directional trades, not by going, okay, I believe that it's going to pop up today. I think the stocks, the SPX, the S&P is going to go up today. Like Fed Powell is going to speak and it's going to shoot up. I'm going to buy a call option for SPX. I don't do that. That is probably less risky, but also it's less fun because you have to put up money up front. You have to debit money from your account and then hope that you get money back. That's boring. I don't get why people would even do that. You're just hoping it goes up and then otherwise you just lose your initial investment. Okay, maybe some people are in that. My style is to sell options, which is where you collect a premium up front. You're selling it to somebody else who's doing what I just described. You're selling it to somebody who's hoping that it goes up or down. If you sell a call option, they're hoping that it goes up. You're hoping, as the seller or writer, that it goes nowhere because it'll slowly lose value because of theta. It could also lose value because of delta. These are called the Greeks. And if you don't know what the Greeks are, get out of here. You're not qualified to do this drug. You could do the drug without knowing anything about that, actually. The less you know, the better. Because it doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, it's whether you win or lose, man. It could either hit the strike price, go into the money, or stay out of the money, or be right on the edge. And when it's right on the edge, that's when you're fucking getting stressed. That's when your heart rate is pumping. That's how I get my exercise, man. I sell a credit spread at 2:30 p.m., right as the volume is ramping up towards the day of the close of the day. And I just hope that it doesn't go past the strike price, which it will. It always does, or else you wouldn't have made any money off the premium. The whole point of the premium is that there's volatility implied in the contract, or else who would pay for that? Who would put money into an options contract if there was zero possibility that it was going to go in the money? Well, yeah, that's why everything's priced in. So if you sell a contract with a premium, that premium that you're getting is not for free. You're getting paid because of the volatility that you're going to have to wither through, like a storm. If you sell an option contract, it doesn't really matter how far away it expires. 0 DTE is what I'm doing, and that means by the end of the day, it's worthless. If you buy it in the last 30 minutes of the day, you're nuts. But you can scoop up some premium, and sometimes it doesn't do anything. Sometimes it goes the complete opposite direction. But typically, the reason you're being paid a premium is because the volatility is priced into that premium, and it will probably touch or go past the strike price and not expire worthless. It will have a non-extrinsic value, have an intrinsic value by the time it expires, which means you'll lose money. The extrinsic value is the premium that you are getting paid. You hope that it decays to 0, to worthless. Then you don't even have to sell it or buy it back in this case. You don't even have to buy it at close. You just let it expire worthless. and you're happy, but then you just want to do it again because you never feel satisfied selling options. You always, even if you make like $1,000 in one day, it's like, oh man, the market, I got to wait a whole nother 24 hours to do this again. Less than that, because the market opens at 8 a.m., so 8:30 a.m. So anyway, so it's very fun. It's riveting. It's like you get a punch of adrenaline anytime a contract is sold. You go, oh crap, it's sold. Okay, I guess I'll sell some more on the opposite side of the trade. I'll sell some bull spreads if I sell bearish spreads. So this is very esoteric. I doubt anyone's going to give a crap. Yeah, it's fun. I've been doing it for a month, and I don't know if I'm getting better at it, or if I've certainly can't say I'm even close to good at it, because I've lost a lot more money than I've made. So I have to keep going to the casino. Now it's not even a choice. At least the good part is I've been waking up at 8 a.m. every single weekday for over a month. Not a single missed day. That's how exciting it is to be a day trader for zero DTE options. Because the earlier is the better. Like, zero DTE is extremely risky, but you know how much you could lose at max the second you sell. Before you even sell it, you look at it and say, okay, I'm going to lose upwards of $1,000 at most if this goes against me, and I'll make at most $50. That's usually what I go for. Sounds ridiculous, but the chances of it actually going to max loss are typically pretty low if you're only trying to get $50 max profit, because look at the ratio. The max loss is so big compared to the max profit. That implies usually, I mean, it always implies, I hope, that the risk of it actually going in the money is pretty low. It still depends on implied volatility for the day. If there's upcoming news later in the day, like the day that Jay Powell spoke, implied volatility did not drop throughout the day. Theta was not helping you until he was done speaking, which was already at the end of the day. It was only like an hour after that. So anyway, it's very intense. But if you sell at the very beginning of the market opening, you could usually, you have much more time, and it's less stressful to sell on both sides of the trade. An iron condor, you sell a put debit or a put credit spread and a call credit spread, which is a bullish and bearish position. You're hoping that the price of the underlying, in this case, the SPX, stays where it is at the time that you sold. You're just hoping that it just doesn't move at all. So you don't want volatility. You're making money from volatility, but you don't want it. That's what hurts you. So it's kind of contradictory. You're making money because people are expecting volatility, and you're hoping that they're wrong. So that's it's a contradictory. It's like, what are you doing? So I don't know if it's going to be something I'm going to be doing for very much longer, because every time I lose money, which is a lot of the time, it takes a lot of discipline to tell myself to just, okay, close your trades. You're up for the day. You remember how it felt just yesterday when you lost a shitload? Remember that feeling? Well, you have a chance to close out today at a small profit, but then I just go, well, yeah, but I don't want to. I want to make a big profit. So then you keep opening contracts, and all it takes is, as it gets closer and closer to the end of the day, since there's 0 day till expiry options, you get smaller and smaller volatility implied. So the premiums go smaller and smaller as the day progresses. So then it becomes then it is like playing a lottery. Then it is like gambling. Because it's like, okay, I could still scrape a tiny bit of pennies. So, but it's like, yeah, why not? So it takes discipline. So it's like, even though it's not hard, it's like not that technical of a thing to do. Just selling put credit spreads and iron condors, the hard part is deciding when to close them. Because ideally, you never want to close them. You want to leave them up until they expire, but you're opening yourself up to risk. So you're supposed to close them at like 25% of max profit, which is not satisfying enough. So you keep letting them ride out until the end of the day, and then the market starts moving against you, and you go, oh, well, now I have to sell it at a loss. I could have taken a profit, but because of greed, I am now forced to take a big loss. So that's where the discipline comes in. And I'm getting better at it. I'm telling myself, I'm like, remember that feeling of where you lost a lot of money? Because you have to stay above a certain amount in your portfolio, or else you can't day trade. You need at least 25K of total value in your portfolio to be a day trader. And I got very close to going below that. And I was like, well, I'm at the very bottom of where I could stay a day trader. So I have to be profitable today. If I lose even a couple bucks, I'm done being a day trader. So it's like, you be as conservative as possible. And it's not that hard, because it's usually the market, not usually, but it's not that hard to at least make a couple bucks per day doing this if you're very careful and you only open low delta positions, like credit spreads that are very far out of the money, and then telling yourself, okay, time to close it at a small profit, and you just keep doing that. And then you stop at like 2 p.m. at the latest. Anything after that is gambling. You should really stop at like 1 p.m. Central. But sometimes you just want to keep them open. Let it ride. It's fun. It's fun to let it ride. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. I'm still down a lot, and I don't really know if I'm ever going to recover those lost funds, because you could have 5-10 winning days in a row, and all it takes is one bad day to make it, to lose all that, to lose your gains. And then when you're down, you just want to take even bigger risks. It's called revenge trading. It's like, well, now I'm pissed off. Now I'm going to sell a shitload of options to try to recoup what I just did to myself. Because you could be like trading all day and have tons of profitable trades in a row, and all it takes is one bad one to negate all that progress you made. So by the end of the day, it's like, well, what the hell was I doing all day? I put in all this time, and now I got nothing out of it. I lost money. What kind of job is that? It's the kind of job that I chose. So I'll let you know how that is. Hopefully I'll be not dead by the next time I do this. I will have more gray hairs, definitely, by that point, because of the this rough and tumble exposure that is being a day trader. But I want money. And once I get money in excess, I put it other places where it's not going to be gambled away. But I haven't been able to do that in a while because I've only really been losing money. I had a couple of good days since I last traded. The past 2 days were good, but the markets didn't do anything. If the market doesn't do anything, you'll make money doing nothing. It's like zero risk management. You could max out your buying power. You could sell the maximum amount of options that it'll let you, and you'll make full profit doing nothing after that if the market stays flat. If the market moves, you're screwed. All you can do is sell at a loss or hope it bounces back. But you have to decide, okay, I guess I have to sell this at a loss. So it's hard. I'm still messing around with it. So I hope you learned something. So I hope y'all have a good day. And fuck communism.